Good morning, everyone. I'm Cheryl Teres from Lausanne University Hospital, and we are doing this session on EHRA Studio about certification and the EHRA Educational Pathway. And I am joined here by esteemed colleagues and friends, Andreu Porta from Hospital Clinic in Barcelona, Marta De Riva from Leiden University Hospital, and Alexandre Almorad from Brussels University Hospital.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we're going to start discussing what are the new things we have in EHRA on education, Marta?
Now, good morning, everybody. Actually, you know that for a couple of years we are working in this EHRA Educational Pathway, and you are all aware of the 3 levels that we have developed. The online courses have been recently updated. So we have in level 1, we are creating a new module on digital cardiology and artificial intelligence that we will be soon available online, and that people can, of course, go through if they go through the whole module, but also it can be used for recertification, for example, as a separate module. You know, just as a reminder that we have also the SVT ablation course online that might be quite practical also to prepare for certification exams. And as another new thing that has been just published in January, we have made an update of the key reference library according to the last version of the core curriculum that was published in 2024. The key reference library is a actually list of good reviews and landmark papers that are at the moment ordered according to the core curriculum. So we try to help actually young colleagues to find sources for studying in an easy way.
That key reference library is perfect for preparing for the exam. And
Exactly.
once you've done your level 1 online courses that are available internationally, you can do them online at your own pace. Then you can register for one of the on-site preparatory courses, and then you can undergo the exam. This will take you to level 2 certification after you do the exam, and then provide a logbook of cases that have been done. And with regards to that exam, we are very happy that last year we launched for the first time the version in French for the cardiac implantable electronic device exam. And it was very successful. And in fact, we reached 491 people undergoing our EHRA certification exams, which has been the highest number in the entire history. And this year, we will continue to grow with an EP French version of the exam that is on top of the other versions of the exam that will happen in September. So if you're planning to get your certification, which is a stamp of quality in your CV that has a differential impact for people who are applying for jobs, it's a good moment to start preparing for that.
And what are because you also wanted to mention a new consensus document and other things that
Yeah, exactly. So until now, we have created really a very, I think, a strong structure of theoretical and knowledge. And as you all know, mainly level 1s and level 2 are really devoted to theoretical knowledge in different aspects of electrophysiology. But we believe that there is a space for hands-on training. And until now, the old way is really to train in patients.
Yeah.
But we think that in a certain moment this has to change. And that's the reason that a consensus document has just presented at EHRA about the simulation training in electrophysiology. And I think that Alexander could say more about him because he's one of the leading authors on it.
Yeah, indeed. So the idea of this consensus paper or scientific statement of EHRA was to identify the gaps in the training of the fellows, but also expert clinicians that would like to have an extra skill in some of the new devices that we have on the field. And indeed, as you said, Marta, so our field is like partly intellectual and partly practical. And we are focusing since years on the intellectual skills, which is of tremendous importance in the curriculum. But now we're lacking a bit of standardization in the training on the practical skills. So this paper and the working group had like identified the gaps, the different simulators, for example, that we have, different types, when to implement them in the curriculum, which are the standards that we should aim for, the different, the inequity in terms of geography, for example, and in terms of access to the simulators. So these are all the several points that are addressed in this paper, and we also suggest that this should be endorsed by scientific societies and academy to provide a real standard, a high standard in terms of certification.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something very important, which is that we need to aim to all sort of have the same level. We can have this kind of inequities within Europe, and maybe simulators are a good way to actually try to put hands on this kind of situation.
They bridge, as Alexandre was saying, they bridge the gap between what is the theoretical knowledge and then the practical experience. So they are the level 1.5 in between certification, right? And then you provide your logbook, and that takes me to what do you need to do after you provide your logbook, which is the level 2. Then you go to level 3. And what is level 3? Level 3 is leadership, right? So maybe Marta, you want to talk a little bit about the DASCAM program?
Yeah, that would be great. Also because now the application phase is open, and it's an amazing program that I think you have personal experience both
I
on
am
it.
actually the current cohort of DASCAM, and Alex has been
last year,
previous
exactly.
one, so
So one of the most important things that I would like to say is that to access DASCAM, a candidate needs to have passed one of the exams, but it's not necessary yet to have the logbook, and that's important to know because it can be that there's some confusion here.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And it can be either, right? It
Can be
EP
either,
or
can be,
devices.
and I would just like to make this clear. We have to try to clarify it in the website. Please try apply for it because it's an incredible opportunity. There are no similar programs that you may find. It's a leadership program that really focuses on electrophysiologists. What we did 2 years ago, approximately, when we changed a little bit the format of DASCAM, was to remove the part that was more general knowledge in electrophysiology because this has been covered already, but many of the other courses, and really focusing on skills that we don't get anywhere else. So I think
So Alex,
so please
what
give
can
us
you tell us?
exactly.
I mean, what has DASCAM changed in your life? Where has it taken
A
you?
lot.
A lot. No, truly. So
I think it's important to mention it because, many people are questioning, okay, EHRA level 1, EHRA level 2, EHRA level 3.
Yeah.
How can that be useful for me? Because I am living on a 100% clinical job, doing research in nights and weekends, and I'm going to add on top like a full certification thing. So what do you think?
In my opinion, DASCAM answers exactly this question. Like, how can I manage to do this extra thing? You have, as you said, like clinics, work, cath lab, family life, and how to manage all this. If you want to be empowered with strategy, management, I think DASCAM is the good answer. To be honest, I was suggested by some friends, old alumni from DASCAM, to apply, but I was not aware of what it was exactly. So maybe there is some work to do there to be a bit more like broadly, to make it a bit more broadly accessible and acknowledged by everyone. But then, so it's a 1-year curriculum. It's you have different courses, different type of courses, and which I think, and I agree with you, Marta, you wouldn't find anywhere else. I think there is no such a program worldwide.
But is it something full-time, or you just go and for once a week, once a month? How is it
a bit less than once a month.
Okay.
You have like 2 or 3 days on site. You have some online meetings. You have some assessments. You have also some assignments that you have to deliver on time. But still, it's something that it's like brick by brick you improve over the year.
And then it's not like theoretical knowledge, you know, it's things you can really relate to.
Practical.
To your practical daily life at a hospital, at an institution, may it be small, big, you know, any kind of different teams, and there is leadership, there is also a coach for
Coaching
you.
is fantastic.
And you have these
Yeah.
sessions to actually really also get to know a little bit of yourself in a professional way, or how you can develop in any kind of environment, right? It's not like not everyone wants to be a chief of an EP lab, so
This is an important point. So leadership doesn't mean that you will like end up, you need or you want to end up as a chief or leading any of like the hospital big units, and it's also leadership about your management
Your own
on a daily
space, right?
basis.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
not only clinical but also strategical, maybe also a bit family with the coach. So you have like different aspects that are discussed, and it's pretty nice because you also, it's all your peers. They all have the same kind of
Questions
issues,
and
questions,
problems, yeah.
interrogations. So you can discuss with them, and even the faculty. They have the same things also, or they went through the same
Yeah.
path, so you can exchange with them. So it's a very high quality program.
and you also have all this aspect on how to actually develop an EP lab, and you
Yeah.
also have a very nice part on statistics to apply all of that to your research, right? Because of course clinic is our life, but like academic leads your career, okay? And at some point you really need to develop that statistics part to become a real researcher, confirmed researcher. And there is all this statistics aspect that you really get in depth to, but super practical. It's really applied, it's with a lot of examples. So
And it's a big share of the curriculum. It's really
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
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 Very good.
And any other thing you guys want to add? Andreu, you mentioned the next dates for the exams.
Yeah, so
What
the
are
next
the
date-
deadlines to sign up to one of the certification exams?
So the next exam, we have, as you know, 4 types of exam. One for physicians, the other one is for allied professionals, and for each category there is one for devices, and the other one is for electrophysiology. And all those exams will happen in mid-September. You can sign up for them until end of August, okay? They will be hosted online, so you can take them from everywhere. In fact, we have increased the international reach of those exams with many people from outside Europe undergoing the EHRA certification. So you have plenty of time to prepare for the exam. It's a very robust methodology to create it, and we encourage you to think about it and apply for it, because it will make a difference in your CV.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to mention that EHRA has done a huge effort on standardizing all this, and also, yeah, as a scientific society, maybe lead this path, because I agree with you. You mentioned this before, that this is unique to EHRA. All this educational pathway really devoted to EP. So
There's one other topic that I would like to comment on, is that we have also simplified very much the way to get recertified. Okay, so after 10 years of undergoing the exam, you need to undergo a recertification process to make sure that you're still in the field, that you've been practicing EP. And this was a quite complex process before, and in the last couple of years we have simplified that process. So you only need to show that you have attended a couple of EHRA or ESC congresses. You have to undergo some of the online training, you have to attend some of the webinars, and then show proof that you've been practicing by a National Cardiac Society letter. And this is quite simple for people who underwent the exam a few years ago, to get the stamp of recertification for 10 more years.
And I think you just mentioned something that it's worth highlighting, and it's the webinars, because they are very nice educational webinars, and they are online, so you can watch them anytime.
Yeah.
You can
Exactly.
just go to the ESC 365 website, and then you have access, of course, to all the Congress presentations if you are signed up to a Congress, but the webinars are open, so anyone who has an account, of course, can watch those webinars, and it's very important as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, well, it was a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much, and
Thank you,
see you
Cheryl.
soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.